You didn't clap, Lurch? That's unbelievable.
Dude, I was making sure my quick time was up.
Fore players are at Barstool Sports. We're just doing it. I think we're just doing it. I think that's how we started the show. We're doing our new audio thing. We're trying to get it with our local audio and our better audio.
Wow.
And we tried to clap. We looked at the world clock. We had this whole plan. We picked a minute. And Lurch, you just didn't clap.
Well, because then Frankie was like, "Oh, is the QuickTime audio working?" Because we don't usually sync the two things up. Then I checked that, and then it was a quick clap. Honestly, for waiting 5 minutes for Riggs to add the quotes in, and then all of a sudden we were go zone in like a second and a half. So I mean, yeah, maybe it's a little bit on me, but we could have waited another 5 seconds.
The biggest thing is because the biggest thing is because the reason why we're doing the clock look is because when you look through a Zoom, it's all going to be somewhat delayed. But your first instinct was to look up and clap with us, which is quite literally why we're doing the clock look. You know what I mean?
No, but I was doing the check to QuickTime on my computer, and then it was clap, and it was then I was doing this thing. Like, I don't know why my head goes forward when I clap, but that's just part of it.
It's Sunday night.
It sure is Sunday night.
Yeah, we're doing things
catcher's mitt after playing in the sun all day. Like,
the sun has struck your face. It's very clear.
It's incredible. My face will fall off in the next 3 days because right now it's just leather. It's all leather. I put on sunblock. I was even going high with my numbers in sunblock. I was using like 40 and 50 for protection, and it didn't work. It didn't take. And yeah, I was in the sun for too long. Florida's sun is hotter than wherever else I've been.
I will say it was beautiful. Well, you're in Florida, aren't you? I was going to say it was beautiful in the New York and New Jersey area. I thought maybe you were out and about, but you're down.
No.
You're down
Mom
in Florida.
got married. Shout out my mom. And
congrats to your mom.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Mazel tov.
We got a lot to get to. I'm in Florida as well. I just got here, Tampa, Florida. We got the first two Barstool Classic events. We have 26 qualifiers across 19 different states. We're doing Innisbrook, the island course. So we're kicking it off. When people essentially listen to the show, we will have already done the Monday one. We're recording Sunday night because I'm going to be busy all day tomorrow. Joel Dahmen, our guy, got the win. He got his first PGA Tour win. He was very emotional over in Puntacana. He grinded it out. He was kind of struggling on the back nine, trying to piece it together, trying to keep it together. It was windy, as tough conditions, and boom, he has not been playing well either this year. Like, just clearly not playing well. He said that afterwards. And you could clearly tell from social media, one of the more popular wins that I can recall, especially for an opposite field event. I mean, you're still beating all guys that are on the PGA Tour, but he gets a 2-year exemption on the PGA Tour, does not get into the Masters, but he does get into the Tournament of Champions. So it's life-changing. It's like legitimately life-changing. Joel, we met for the very first time at Mesa before we teed off, which, like, it's not like that with all the other pros. Kiz, we knew extremely well before we played him. Pat Perez, we knew extremely well before we played him. Joel Dahmen just rolled up, started drinking, some seltzers, I think, right away, and had himself a hell of a day, and is as good of a dude as you could possibly have. It was emotional watching him get choked up, but big win for one of our guys.
Him saying it's really hard to win a golf tournament is like weirdly profound, because we talk about people on this show all the time. We talk about Tiger Woods all the time. We're talking about Justin Reed. We're talking about Patrick Reed. We're talking about Brooks Koepka. We're talking about all the greatest players in the world. And they sometimes...
Who else we talking about, Trent? Who else we talking about?
Zach Johnson. We're talking about all these great players. Where
you named like 8 people.
Are you going to name them all? Are you going to name everyone that's ever won a golf tournament?
That was unbelievable.
Morikawa. I'll list all the fucking names, you motherfuckers. I'll list all of them if you want me to.
All right. We're ready.
No. They it's winning a golf tournament. Almost, it doesn't seem easy, but we've normalized these guys who are so good at winning that it does seem like, oh, it's just another week. Oh, JT wins the Players, but he's already won a million other golf tournaments. But for a guy like Joel Dahmen, who we know very well and is a genuinely awesome and great guy, and for him to be like, it's fucking hard to win golf tournaments, puts it in perspective, because we've seen him play up close and we know how good he is. And then to take that and for him to be like, it's really hard to win out here. I know that I'm a PGA Tour player, but it's still really hard. I thought it just put in, like, it seemed like a simple and funny quote, but it really, I thought it said more just about how hard it really is to win a golf tournament.
Yeah, it was him saying it right after he just did the thing that he said is really hard to do, right? Like, he just won a golf tournament. So in theory, this is when your brain should be thinking it's actually the easiest time to think about winning a golf tournament, because you just won a golf tournament. And his reaction was so genuine. You're right, of just like, man, it's really freaking hard to win a golf tournament. And he got it done. It was so emotional. Like, he did a little, like, skip jump like right after he hold his putt of like he just was so incredibly excited. So it was all the quotes. His caddy Gino putting the text out that he got from Joel the Sunday night before they left for the tournament. That Joel was just like, "Hi, like good morning. I'm ready to go. I'm tired, but I'm really good at golf, so don't worry about it." And then they like roll up and he wins the damn tournament. And a lot of other stuff coming out. Just Joel is the man. He's super genuine. He's down to earth. Not a single person has a bad word to say about that guy. And for him to be playing like shit, he was telling me that he went. I think he had Buddy's bachelor party or something in Vegas last weekend. Did like a 48-hour bender reset, and then he comes and wins. So it was just awesome.
It's also crazy because like when we played against him, he just didn't have his best stuff. Like I think he was like 1 over through like 5 holes or something at Mesa, which usually by that time he's like 3 under. So it's truly incredible that golfer won a professional golf tournament, because like what we saw, the joke was like, no, we're just playing against his like twin brother Dan that's just an 8 handicap, because he just didn't have his best stuff. But yeah, shout out to him, because winning once is just life changing. All the tournaments you get to enter, it's like a parachute package for every PGA Tour player. Like, from that point on, you're going to have money. Things are going to be good.
Yeah, we were doing the whole bit where we were like, what was it, Danny Dahmen?
Yeah.
That was we were playing against, which was, his brother, because there's no way this guy's on the PGA Tour and then he turns it around and legitimately wins. He beating guys like Graham McDowell's out there, I think, is a U.S. Open winner, and he was in the mix, and like he just won a PGA Tour event. That same fucking guy just won a PGA Tour event. So it was really cool. Obviously, the match play we'll get to. Owen's Mixers we got to get to first. We got Transfusion Thursday coming up on Thursday. I'm noticing, man, people are out and about a lot more. You guys are getting nice weather up in the Northeast. I'm seeing a lot of transfusions. I'm starting to get tagged in more and more and more, and the feedback is fantastic. So go get yourself some Owens. They have figured out the cocktail game. You pour it in with your liquor, and you just have an awesome cocktail. You just have an awesome cocktail. It's that easy. Everybody wants a better drink. Everybody hates their drink order. Trent's done a whole thing about how he doesn't even think people like whiskey, but people drink whiskey. So a lot of people just drink something that it's a go-to. It's a habit. They're not that excited about it. Well, Owens, you go to owensmixers.com, you do the transfusion, you do the mint cucumber and lime, and all of a sudden you have an awesome cocktail. It's a great thing.
Some guy sent us a really, really nice picture. A lot of people sent us pictures, but one guy sent us a very organized picture this weekend. And I'm sure you guys saw it too, where it was Owens Mixers, then a little thing in New Amsterdam, Owens Mixers, a little thing in New Amsterdam. Like, it just looked great. So yeah, if you pack something like that, send us a picture, and I'm sure we'll retweet it. Like you said, Riggs, a lot more people are out there drinking because it's starting to get nice out.
It is starting to get nice out. How you guys got some good weather up there, don't you? Does it feel good?
Yeah, it's like Friday and Saturday was one of those like, holy shit, like let's get some drinks flowing. Let's get some Owens cracked. Let's get those little nips out. I'm not talking about the ones on your chest. I'm talking about the little New Amsterdam nips. It was just a really good reset on your brain in New York, I feel like. I think we've really needed this weather in spring. I think everyone's brain... it was almost felt like a movie scene where people were walking out of their house and just like looking up at the sky, being like, "Oh my God, the sun!" It just felt so good to drive around with your windows down, listen to some music, and it felt like life again.
Yeah, I opened my windows in my apartment, and New York City had that buzz. There was a little bit of a buzz going on below, which was just nice to hear again. It's
That's
obviously
Trent's
crazy.
outside time. You opened your windows. You act like you just like drove around the country.
No, I did open my windows, but I went and got coffee. I went and sat in this nice little like park area. So I got out there. I was amongst the people, but like it's obviously.
What do you mean sat in a park area? You just thought about stuff? What'd you do?
Yeah, I do that more often than I probably even let on. Like there's just like this little area by my apartment that has benches, and it's like there's some greenery, and I just fucking sit there. It's fantastic.
Now all I can think about is you sitting there with like a newspaper in your eyes, like on the bridge of your nose, just kind of like, being an old timer, just enjoying the day.
I am. Sometimes I just have a nice iced coffee and I enjoy the day. Dude, nowadays when the sun's out, it's so weird. Obviously we've been all these places, Vegas, California, Arizona, like doing these videos. But there was something about the other day, Friday and Saturday, where I felt like it was the first time I had felt sun in like a year. It was so strange. Maybe it's because like New York, the weather hasn't been great, and it's obviously been a fucking batshit like 15 months for everybody. But just having sun hit you and people were buzzing, it was a nice weekend.
That first day, when you live in the Northeast and you get that first weekend day, whatever it is, when you get really nice weather, it feels like you've turned the corner. There is just a buzz. I will say in Arizona on Thursday, they lifted the mask mandate. So businesses are not required, like there's just no mask mandate. So people were out in Arizona and it felt like, and again, it's like if it's at your own risk. If you're not comfortable with that, don't go outside. Totally understand all that. But for the people that were out, it felt like the world was as normal as I've felt it in a year. And it was the same kind of thing. There was just a buzz around town everywhere that you went.
Well, dude,
People
you
are
can
about
even
to go
see it.
crazy. When this people are gonna go crazy.
The whole world has cabin fever. The entire world has cabin fever.
Frankie, what is it? The Roaring 20s?
The Roaring 20s. Every time I say that, for some reason, Lurch like smirks and giggles at that one, but I think there's some truth to it. I think there's some truth to the Roaring 20s analogy.
I mean, you've only said that a couple times.
Yeah, and a couple times I've gotten like a little like okay response from you, but I
don't give an okay response. I think
people. I think people are going to spend more money. They're going to take more trips. They're going to want to eat out when they're usually these like boring, lazy people. Like they've had a year and a half to be boring and lazy. I'm looking right at you, Trent.
I can
like,
feel
you're
it.
Gonna, instead of sitting there, open up your window, you're going to go out to that park a little bit more. Maybe you'll even go to that nice mom and pop coffee shop instead of the Starbucks next time because they just opened for the first time in 15 months. There's going to be thoughts about that, I think. A new way of thinking in the world, which I think, oddly, is going to be a good thing that came out of the pandemic. You know what I mean? It's almost like a clean restart, a refreshment on our brains on how to live life and have fun and appreciate things.
You think we're going to be more appreciative of just everyday stuff?
I hope so. I sure hope so. I know I am.
Yeah,
something as simple like I want to wait in line at a bar for a drink. I want to be aggravated that a bartender refuses to acknowledge my existence because I'm just in the mix. You know what I mean? Like,
that is the weirdest thing to be excited about I've ever heard. Like to be outside with a bar, I get to your goal, like. Just like you love the Islanders, you'd rather see the Rangers lose. You want to be out and pissed off waiting for a drink. Like
you're missing my point. Like I tried to pick the thing that I hated most about being at a bar, and I want to do that so badly. Like I used to fucking hate standing there being like, this guy sees me. And he's just walking right by me. I want to give you this money, and I want to drink the drink that you have behind that counter. You just refuse to let me. I used to fucking hate that feeling, and I would do anything.
Your hand? Would you raise your hand,
sir?
Weird.
Sir, I'm over 21.
Like, oh no, like I'm an adult. But
yeah.
I really want to drink, man.
I look like I'm
you
sick,
will, and you will.
Drink.
By the way, you will go back to hating that. But I think you're right. Like the first couple times, whenever that happens for everyone, I think you will be like, oh, this is like it feels
just
good that the world's back to normal.
I would pay a shit ton of money to be back in that spot that I didn't want to be in 2 years ago.
Yeah. Frankie, how many times do you think you'll appreciate waiting in line for a drink and getting passed over? How many times? Yeah, I think it's a one and done.
I think there'll be a time where we're in a packed bar and there's going to be a really good sports game on, like a playoff game or something. There's going to be that buzz. I'm going to go get a round of drinks, and we're going to be like, holy shit, we're here. And I'm going to get passed on. I'm going to be like, it's happening. We're fucking here. And then that guy's going to pass me one more time. I'm going to say, all right, you motherfucker. I've been staying here for 15 minutes now. The first time was fun. Second time's a problem. Let's get this thing going. Let's get these drinks flowing.
Dude, you can even time as a bartender who's a listener and just avoids you like the plague, just literally back and forth.
I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna say,
I hate being a part of those.
Here we go.
I was
gonna say there was crowds at the tournament this weekend at the WGC in Texas. There was when there were hole in ones, which there were a couple this weekend. There were like legitimate roars. So things are kind of heading in that direction.
Yeah, fans of tournaments, it's I really will admit that I missed it. Like when they're back and there's excitement and there's actual reaction, crowd reaction when a good shot's hit, it's how things are supposed to be, and you can very much notice it. So it is awesome that the fans are back. You can hear them chime in. It's all like Paul Casey got to do it with like a drunk fan, which is like, we're back. Okay, like we're pretty back when golf fans are being too drunk and the golfers are getting annoyed and they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. That means we're getting closer. So it's good. The match play, Austin Country Club, we talked about it last week a pretty good amount, but it's awesome. It's so much fun to watch. It's so much different. I think 99% of the time that any average normal golfer goes and plays golf, they play match play with their buddies. So, the PGA Tour, they only do it once. I mean, if you have a factor in a team event, They do it twice a year, Presidents or Ryder Cup, and then the Dell Match Play. So getting to see these guys at the highest level play the same style of game that you play and have it be, tweaked and different from what you see week in and week out is so fun to watch. Austin Country Club is a quirky, bizarre golf course that, it's Pete that, and it just delivers crazy shit out there where you see guys in the rocks, you see guys getting wild bounces, you see guys making horrific scores, good scores, crazy up and downs, and ultimately we got a lot of good stuff. I would say on Sunday, which we're going to get to. Sunday was just like a drag and a grind, and you can tell from all of like golf media was kind of like, what are we doing watching this match? Because you had the hype from like Friday and Saturday when you had a bunch of you had playoffs on Friday, you had really intense matches to advance, you had fist bumps on like a Wednesday from John Ross. So you had all that stuff that everybody was super hyped about match play and talking about it should be a major that's match play. And then by Sunday, when it was dragging and there weren't like the mega stars in it, people were kind of like, yeah, maybe this is why we don't do match play every week. Okay, because it was just a little bit of a slow grind on Sunday.
What do you guys think about that? The social media buzz that they would want match play to be a major, like they want the PGA Championship to be match play. Like, what do you guys think about that?
That was our girl Paige Baranek got one. Yeah.
I see it everywhere. I feel like I see it everywhere.
It was funny to see a lot of the pros like comment on it. I know JT was like, absolutely, 100%, no. just no chance, would be the worst decision of all time. I mean, I definitely think it's cool to get the discussion going on like, yeah, it's a cool format, but for a major, like I don't know. Maybe I had different thoughts about it going like, I think we've talked about this maybe like last year or 2 years ago where we were like, yeah, it'd be pretty cool if you did like whatever, the whole March Madness thing. I mean, that's literally what they have right now is the match play. And I just don't know that it would bring enough excitement coming down to the end. Like you need that really big field. You need a guy hitting it in the water and someone who started the day in 18th or 19th surging up the leaderboard on Saturday and Sunday and finishing for the win. Like that is what a major is to me. I would never want to know the only two guys who could possibly win on Sunday going into Sunday. It would be so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's risky. It is very risky from an entertainment perspective. That's clearly why they don't do it. That's why they most likely never will do it. And today was that example of like, you had Billy Herschel and Scottie Scheffler, who, not like those guys are the most boring guys on tour, but they're not that exciting. They weren't playing great golf. They were clearly like tired from the long week, and it just wasn't a great product. Like the Joel Dahmen win, I thought was way cooler to watch than almost anything I saw from the final round today in the match play. So yeah, I think from a pure like integrity of the, who should be the major champions argument or perspective, I could see how players, Justin Thomas, et cetera, would not want match play because, as everybody talks about, like, one guy could go out and shoot even par and win his match. Another guy could go out and shoot 6 under and lose his match. Right. And that's going to determine a major winner at the end of the day. So I get that. But then, like, the U.S. Amateur, which is, Jack Nicklaus considers these U.S. Amateur wins like majors. And, by the way, Tiger Woods has more of them. He won 3, Jack won 2. But he considers that, and that is match play, and it's awesome. Like the stuff that we saw at Bandon last year, or what was that, a couple of years ago when they were, was that last year? I think that was last year. That was in August last year.
Yeah.
At Bandon with those matches and what was going on in 18, and we had the bunker incident with the guy who we had on here. Like the match play for a huge tournament is pretty fucking cool, but it is just risky, and it is, when you dwindle the field down, like, okay, so on Saturday morning, there's going to be 8 guys that could, like, win the tournament. That's, like, what we're going to do. It's like, that's bizarre. Whereas you can have people charge, and you can have, we get at the Masters every year. Like, when they make the turn, it feels like there's 12 guys that can win the Masters every year, and you're just not going to have any of that. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit more on the side now of not doing it than I was maybe even, like, a day ago.
I guess the only thing is that like the PGA Championship has always been trying to figure out an identity that separates from the other 3 because the other 3 just have it. Like everyone gets excited for the other 3. Not that the PGA, like everybody knows how they feel about the PGA Championship, and if they just had it as a match play event, that might get more people excited about it. But I understand everything you guys are saying is correct, but I don't think it's the craziest idea. I think it could definitely work, especially. Yeah, like I said, the PGA Championship's been trying forever just to figure out what it is. And if they're like, it's a match play event now, that would certainly be an identity.
Yeah, it would. like loses its luster. Like you can't have like the naive approach is that you're going to have like JT versus Rory in the final group,
Sure.
and that just never happens. The parity in golf is so much to the fact that like these guys just lose over the course of time. I mean, like in the aggregate of 4 days, they usually score the best rounds of golf, and that's why they're the top golfers. But you go up against a guy, Victor Perez, who shoots 63, and like you just lose that day. And so I think that's unfair. And I mean, I personally, I love it. Like for this event, the golf course is just such a match play golf course. Like it is so perfect for that event that I love it. I think there could be more tournaments that do the match play. I think like the John Deere, like do a match play there. Like just change it up. I think I love it watching it. It's also
just trying to
fun.
get on the map in any way, John Deere.
We're on the map. We're on the map, baby. We're
seeing guys give up or just be like, yeah, next hole. Like I lost this hole. I just think it's great because it is buddies golf, but they're just outrageously talented. So I think it's a no for the PGA, but I think it's a yes for more events like this because I think it's great TV.
What do you mean by it's a match play golf course?
Well, you can like drive greens. There's a lot of like risk reward type holes. Yeah, so in that way, that like
that makes sense.
You can take more on or decide not to, and if there was just a regular course, right, they'd probably lay up.
Right, if it's a long straightaway course, they're both playing the hole the same way, right?
Same
driver,
right. Like
iron.
if it's Firestone or Torrey Pines, it's like they all just have to hit driver and a long iron, and they do that over and over again, and whoever does it better wins.
That makes sense.
Right.
How long has Billy Horschel been doing this setup? This like pre-shot.
Weird, right?
Dude, it was like honestly. Billy Horschel seems like a nice enough guy. I think we've probably made fun of him a lot on the show in the past, but he seems like a nice enough guy. But
I disagree. You think he seems like a nice guy? Not.
I think he's nice, but I do think he could snap on you. I think something could rub him the wrong way, and he could end up with blood on his hands, and he wouldn't know what happened. But like
I agree with
his setup, his pre-shot routine, it honestly like took away part of today. Like every time they cut to him, I'm like, I can't watch this again.
Did you see when he decelerated worse than I did at 7 at Pebble Beach when he was on, I think, like the 6th hole? And he hit maybe the worst professional shot I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, like and he actually says after it, which is more of that, like, I think he could snap mentality, where he did that weird maniacal laugh and talked to himself. He goes, ha ha, we are having fun out here, aren't we, Billy? Oh, you didn't even commit to that one. Okay.
He literally said, ah, that's funny.
Yeah.
And it was like,
yeah, that's funny, Bill. Okay.
Just burying that pain deep inside and just not letting anybody see it, and that is some scary people.
We watched Bryson, he topped a ball and Westwood shanked one out right and the whole thing. We've seen bad shots. Legitimately, I don't remember seeing something that shocked me more than that Horschel.
It was like a half swing.
It was like he forgot how to play golf. He completely stopped his swing, and he says he like gave up on it. But I've never seen a pro do that.
That was the worst ball flight on a shot. Like that was the closest like 30, 40 handicap ball flight I've ever seen. A shank is like you're close, you just barely hit the hosel, and obviously the result's horrific.
Right.
And like a top, you're just you're a groove too high. Like we get that. That ball flight was like, it looked like that's just kind of how he hits it. It was like,
it was so gross.
What was that? It was awful. The camera angle too. You like saw the ball the whole way, and you just were like, dude, that is a fucking awful golf shot. But yeah, I searched it real quick, and there's like several times that I've written the words "fuck Billy Horschel" either on like BarstoolSports.com or on Twitter.com. So we have either made fun of him or not been overly positive about him. And I don't really know what it is. I mean, yeah, it was the greens at Chambers Bay. Everybody remembers that, where he did the thing where he was bitching about the greens, and that kind of rubbed people a lot the wrong way. But I think it's deeper than that. I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it. He just doesn't seem like I don't know. He doesn't seem like that likable. Like I feel like people just in text groups and tweet are just like not Billy Horschel people.
Dude, I apologize. So I did not see this shot. I was playing pickleball in this tournament. Pickleball, fun game. This is the most laughable, worst shot I've ever seen in my life. And to Trent's point, he does say, that's funny. And just like the most condescending, like, no way I could do this way I've ever seen. And he's just like, oh, I never committed to it. Oh, that's funny. It is legitimately the worst ball flight I've ever seen in my life on a professional. I did like to your point. What I would love to even know, like, what was the
Right.
like intent? Like, what in your head when you were hitting that ball? Like, what did you think? Because it's short, left, weak, and ugly. And like, where?
It was
what
ugly.
did you think
It was
was
just
going to happen?
ugly ball flight. That's right. It was like a shank is like kind of funny, and it's almost like giggly. And this ball flight was just. It was like ugh. I don't want to see that.
It's like he's 85 with a bad back and can't swing. It's like what this shot looked like.
Really bad.
But he won the fucking tournament. So
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day.
So should he
won
be
the
a major
tournament.
champion? Should that golf shot be a major champion?
Yeah, that shot right there goes against any sort of argument you can make for it to be a major.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, guys, real quickly, we're going to get serious for a second. I know you probably can't believe that. The last year has been hard on a lot of people. We were just discussing it. And that's why we are doing something new and partnering with our new sponsor, BetterHelp Online Therapy. At Barstool Sports, we truly love and appreciate our listeners. That is you guys. Without you, none of us would be able to do what we get to do every day. So once in a while, we try to bring you something good. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. A lot of us take care of our bodies, but with as tough of a year as it's been on many of us, we might also want to think about taking care of our minds. There's a misunderstanding of what therapy actually is. It can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be sitting around talking about your feelings. A lot of people battle with their temper. Again, a little bit topical right there. Or their stress is too much to manage, or they have depression, anxiety, PTSD, the list goes on. If this is you, you can use therapy to get some tools that make life much easier. BetterHelp really, truly is good for the mind. It's good for you as a person. It's good for a lot of people we know. We use it, and it's very effective, and it just, again, makes life better. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you do not want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself. Always a good time to do that, because you are your greatest asset. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/4. That is BetterHelp.com/4. You get 10% off. It's betterhelp.com/4.
I'm gonna keep that one in my tickler file.
Yeah, that's a good one to have. It's a very good one to have.
Yeah.
That's a great ad we do right there. That's just a good one. Like, mental
That's
health
just
is
good,
messed
wholesome
up.
stuff right there.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with it, you need to talk to
For
someone.
sure.
I think that's a good ad read. That's good job on the sales team.
Yeah. I want on record that I like Scottie Scheffler a lot. I think he's just like a cool fucking customer. He's just I don't know how much we've talked about him on this show, and he obviously lost today and hit a couple balls in the water when he could not do that, and that's pretty much why he ended up losing. But I like Scottie Scheffler a lot, and I don't know. What do you guys think about Scottie Scheffler? He just seems like a cool. I like his game a lot. I love his game.
Yeah, he's got like a cool. He almost he's like a Cali fucking feel to him. Like, I know he's kind of Texas. I went to Texas. He's a fan favorite around there. I don't know exactly where he's from, but he almost has like a cool guy, Cali chill vibe to him, and he just seems extremely likable. I know our guy Doug Gim was putting all over Instagram that he was rooting hard for him. Was there obviously boys. So Scottie's one of those guys. I mean, he's almost the opposite of the Herschel. It's like you watch that guy play for 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, I fucking like this guy. Okay, you don't know why. There's no like real rhyme or reason to it. He just comes off as extremely likable, I think.
And
He's got that like relatable posture. He's got a big head. Everything about him feels like he could have just rolled out of like your buddy's car and he met you on the first tee.
Yeah.
You know, like a Scottie Scheffler is a guy that your buddy brings to a foursome that he had a guy that wanted to play that day. You meet him, you like him, you end up following him on Instagram, and you guys become like somewhat like acquaintances, right? Like that's a Scottie Scheffler guy.
You think you'd be liking his pictures? Would you start liking his pictures? Maybe that's a second round of golf.
Yeah, I think
maybe if he does something topical that you guys both discuss, like if on the round he's like, oh, I'm going to Puntacana this week, and then you see a picture of him golfing in Puntacana, maybe you throw him a like, because like you both shared that information the week prior.
Or maybe when he puts up some sort of golf Insta story, you slide in and you say, boy, that place looks great. Hope you had a good day.
Yeah, or just like, hope you're playing better than you did last week, or something like that. You know. Yeah. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. No, he's just very relatable.
And I don't know. I never know what's going on with his feet. His feet are all over the place, and every time he hits the ball, I think he slips. I've watched him a million times now, and I still think he slips.
Squeaky, very squeaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's good. I will say that. He's had a hell of a first year and a half here, or a couple of years. And he's got a great name. Scottie Scheffler, that's just like a likable name. Awesome name.
Basically, he's the anti-Billy Horschel. And we wanted him. We wanted Scottie to win today.
He's got a great smile. He's always smiling. But he's a Texas guy. Did he play with Spieth? No, he's too young for Spieth. Did he play with Gim?
I think he played with Doug, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like there was some Spieth Scheffler overlap, and it could be something just that's massive that none of us are aware of. But I feel like there's something there. I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, they're both Texas guys, so clearly they're going to be, they're going to be boys. But yeah, he's got a good vibe going about him. Kevin Kisner, our guy Kiz, had another great showing. He was 2-1. He got a little bit unlucky in that his group was like the one where on the final day he played another guy who was undefeated, Kuchar, and ultimately lost. But he had everybody kind of going in terms of Ryder Cup talk. If you recall, at Le Golf National in 2018, they didn't pick him. They picked Phil. I can't remember exactly who. I think maybe Reed was one of the captain's picks. And the course was just perfect for Kiz. It was like you had to hit it in the fairway. You obviously need to make putts in a match play Ryder Cup type situation. So when Kiz, who's got his record, he's the match play assassin. He won last year. He finished second the year before. He won 2 years ago. The last time they had the match play, he finished second to Bubba the year before. He's got a great match play record. The President's Cup, he was awesome, and he had people going on the Ryder Cup, pick. People were kind of buzzing about Kiz for the Ryder Cup. I still don't think they'll actually take him, which is infuriating. But man, I hope Kiz gets on that Ryder Cup team. It'd be awesome.
I mean, he's done all he can do to prove himself as a fantastic match play guy. So if they don't want to pick him, whatever, but they should pick him. I mean, they should. He is a fantastic match play guy. Just fantastic.
Is it just because his game's not sexy enough? I feel like it's just I don't know what it is. I feel like he checks the box on outcomes, but his game isn't that bomber, dominant golfer. But he just wins and he makes pars and he can roll the hell out of the putter. It's just, I don't know. It feels like it's not the sexy side of things. Putting and everything, but he just doesn't have the length.
Seems like an A1 locker room guy that you would want involved in a team event like that. It'd be one thing if he had this match play record, but he was a fucking asshole piece of shit that nobody liked. He is the complete opposite of that. He's a great locker room guy, and he's a match play assassin. I don't understand.
He's literally was voted the number one guy that guys like to get paired up with when they play around a golf. He's the most liked guy on the PGA Tour. He's on the board for the fucking, representing the players against the PGA Tour. So all of those things are going for him, but he just slides just far enough down that list that there's other names in front of him that they almost feels like they have to take every time, which drives me crazy because I saw a couple of people that were responding yeah, Kiz got a good match play record, but unfortunately the U.S. team's just too deep. I'm we're 2-7 in the last 9. 2-7. We're not too deep. We suck. We fucking suck. We lose all the time. So now we're gonna our team's too deep. These other players are too good. Kids can't make it. What are you talking about? Our team fucking sucks. We lose all the time. So clearly a guy that's a match play assassin who's beloved, who does the things in match play for the record that you need to do to win, which is he makes putts and he hits the ball straight. That's just what he's good at.
And he's got camaraderie. Our team hasn't had camaraderie oh boy.
And
is that my Wi-Fi? What just happened there?
Oh, you okay, Lurch?
Rig zapped. Well, you did a pause and then this where it got real quick.
Well, hopefully, since we're recording locally, no one's even going to worry about that, Lurch. So let's just keep it rolling here.
That's right, Lurch. Nobody cares about what you're seeing on your screen, to be honest with you.
It does seem like a captain who picks Kevin Kisner is going to somehow get some sort of heat or media heat. Just don't fucking worry about that. Who cares? Let's try and win these things as opposed to just picking people who aren't going to give you be a headline. Just pick Kevin Kisner. That's it.
Yeah, I hope that he has proved. I mean, he took down JT, he took down Louis. Those are good. Those are really good wins. And he gave Cooch all he could, and he's clearly had a phenomenal match play record throughout his entire career. So hopefully we can continue to make a little bit of a campaign for Kiz to get on the Ryder Cup team. He's never played in a Ryder Cup, which is crazy to me, but he's just got that that personality too. Like Kiz is a fucking bulldog, like no pun intended. But that's how he likes to play. He fucking likes to stare people down. He's a cocky little son of a bitch, and he likes to go 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 and beat you, understanding what you make. He might not win every tournament every week in terms of stroke play, but when it comes to match play, he has proven that year and year and year that he can continue to win, and it's infuriating that they just won't pick him. And I don't know that they're going to pick him this year. It's going to be very frustrating, and I think I'm going to get very upset.
It's a similar feeling with your favorite sports team when like they have the same roster out there year in and year out. Maybe there's a couple of guys that like get paid a lot of money or they've been in that position forever, and some of these like younger guys or guys that play well against certain players. Like I think about that with the Yankees all the time. Like Gary Sanchez is still catching big games for the Yankees. Meanwhile, you have these other guys like Higashioka who every time he gets in there will get a base hit, even though he's not the bigger name player or whatever. Like they continuously go with the same roster where you're like, let's try something here. Let's get Kevin Kisner in there. He clearly gets it done. Tell me Alabama just hit that 3 at the buzzer beater.
No, I'm on fucking delay, Frankie. Don't tell me that actually just happened.
Wow. Do we have a spoiler?
Pirelli, I'm on about a 5-minute delay right now.
No way. I'm sorry, Jake. I mean, you just came out of the clouds. I forgot you even were there.
There's 4.2 seconds on
the let me get my glasses on to make sure that happened.
4.2 seconds.
Bang! They hit it, bro. They hit it.
Holy shit!
Dude, they fucking hit it. Holy shit, man. I didn't have my contacts in, so my glasses were on my desk, and I thought I saw.
Old guy move. Oh, let me get my glasses.
Yeah,
did they make it?
I thought I saw it, and the place was going crazy. Wow, way to go, Jake.
Hell yeah, Jake.
We're going to overtime.
That
boys.
is fucking awesome. Holy smokes. But yeah, I think they could take a shot on Kiz. At this point, the proof is in the pudding, as the kids say, and he is a good match. He's a good match play player. He fucking wins.
DJ and Kevin Na had an interesting little incident that I think it's a classic golf rules, and golf just pisses people off. Where DJ hit a putt. I think it lipped out. He had like 6 inches, and he scooped it, early scoop. And Kevin Na said to him, hey, technically you got to wait until I tell you that it's good before you just scoop it. DJ was not happy. You could tell right away that Dustin Johnson. By the way, we have a Dustin Johnson video coming out tonight, Tuesday night, and it's awesome. It's him playing left-handed against us, and he was as into it as you can possibly be. That guy does not like to lose.
I don't even know if we're hyping that up enough. Like this is, I feel like because it happened so long ago that we're not doing it justice of what's happening tonight, right? Like we're playing Dustin Johnson in golf on our Foreplay YouTube page. All these people that have watched us fucking sit in our rooms and talk about slapping ourselves around in our grundles and bad movie references and cutting people off and talking too long and Lurch's voice, everything that they stick around for somehow, some way. Us 4 idiots played with the defending Masters champion.
Yep.
Oh, and we're releasing it a week before he steps up to the fucking tee at Augusta National as he tries to take on a back-to-back feat at Augusta for the Masters. This is crazy town, and I know people hate when we say the word crazy, but this is fucking crazy, guys. We got Dustin Johnson on the golf course, and he just played golf with us, opposite-handed, and it was fucking awesome. And he killed it.
And people are going to be very surprised at his personality. Like that's like I'm sure
so
some
good.
people are like, oh well, he's going to be asleep and he's not going to have any brain function. It's like no. You don't understand. You see him in these little clips that we have now talked about recently, like media hits where he's basically, we think, messing with them, where he just gives these bland answers and he moves on about his day. But when you get him in a competitive environment, and as soon as we tee off and we start to hit shots and he starts to hit shots lefty, those competitive juices get going, and it is a completely different Dustin Johnson than you're used to. I promise you.
Yeah, you're right. He was cool as shit. He was funny. He was busting our balls. He was so into the match. He knew where everybody's ball was, what they lied, how he was going to win, how it was going to play out. He was calculating all of it, and he was doing it while being very into the fact that we were doing this and chirping and playing along. It was so goddamn cool.
I think he kept saying, I found my little birdie or I found my little pigeon. I think he kept saying that to Trent which then made me think maybe he knows about the Paulina tweets and all that stuff. Like, every time Trent would do something bad, he'd say, "I found my little pigeon," or something like that. And I can't wait to rewatch this video because do you guys remember him saying that? Like, "I think I found my pigeon."
I vividly remember it, and I think it was because, and I don't think it was because of the Paulina stuff, because maybe he knows about it, maybe he doesn't. He never showed his cards in either direction. But, like, I'm pretty sure he's like, "I found the weak one. I found the one who is by far the worst at golf, and now I'm going to just absolutely destroy him." But he said that to me multiple times because no spoiler, but I played horrible during the hole against him. and so he found his mark. He's like, "That's the guy I'm going to destroy. And then I'm going to take on the rest of you as I go forward."
There's a scene of Dustin Johnson looking for Trent's ball, and it's the most foreplay Barstool imagery of all time. The Masters champion, #1 ranked golfer in the world, is viciously looking through Florida bushes and wildlife for Trent Ryan's ball that he sliced into 1,000,000 miles to the right. That's just I don't know how we got him to spend his hour doing that. It's amazing that he did this with us. And he fucking loved it. He was so into it. He was so into beating, playing us, trying to beat us, whoever, whenever he got a little leg up on us, he let you know. He was grabbing the pin and, being like, no, I got it. He, asked me for a putter because he didn't have, he was so into it that I cannot wait to rewatch this tomorrow or tonight.
He definitely, he was extremely dialed. He knew exactly where everybody stood on the hole as well. So as things progressed and potentially he got, in a better situation or a worse circumstance, you could see his mood change, which I also appreciated. Because, when he found out, if he was calling Trent a pigeon, I actually didn't hear that, so I can't wait to hear that in the video. But as soon as he started, knock others potentially out in the video, you could see him get happier and happier and happier. So it's going to be a must-watch.
You got to go follow. Got to go follow Foreplay on YouTube. That's the one thing. Go subscribe.
Which brings us back to Kevin Na and Dustin Johnson. The one thing I would advise Kevin Na against, and the whole scenario was pretty ridiculous, don't put your hand on Dustin Johnson's shoulder. There was that one picture where it looked like Kevin Na had his hand on DJ's shoulder like he was teaching him a lesson. And I was like, and Kevin Na ended up winning the match, so it would have been better for the story if DJ had just completely crushed him after that happened. Didn't end up that way, but you don't need to be putting your hand on the #1 player in the world's shoulder explaining him how match play works. That was a little wild.
So what I think we should do is let's put in the audio of what we can have. I think the little back and forth was funny, hearing the Kevin Na's tone, just don't do it. Can we put that in right here?
You don't have to wait for the duration of the clip.
Well, the reason why I did that is because maybe it gives Jake this ridiculously long space in the editing, and he knows immediately that's the one time there was no talking. So that'll be easy for the editor.
All right, let's jump back into it.
Okay, no, we're back.
We're back.
I think Trent's comment has to be in there. I think that's gold.
I agree. I think that's too good. But you're right. It was almost belittling, and he's belittling the #1 player in the world, and it was dude, what are you doing now? It's a little bit tough because Kevin Na's not wrong technically,
right?
But what is stupid, right? So he actually handled it how I think it should be handled from a technicality standpoint. The way that he talked to Dustin Johnson was a little ridiculous. But him being hey, just so you know, technically you gotta hear me say that's good before you can do that. But obviously I'm gonna count it. That was good. Then the rules official after came out and said that that's illegal. You can't do that, which I was about to tweet and then I forgot and then I never tweeted it. But I was gonna say that in match play, there should just be a blanket rule that if your opponent and you agree on something, it just trumps all other rules in the world of golf. If you if your opponent's just you know what, yeah, I'm not sure, I think it went in there, but you just drop right here, then that should just be the rule. Or if your opponent's no, I know you didn't say it, but that was obviously good. It's 6 inches. I was going to give it to you. You're all good, and then no one would ever have to talk about it ever again. That should just be the rule.
Yes.
Yep.
Common sense rule.
I really don't understand how it's not, honestly. How can the rules official get in when you agree to it as a team? Sorry.
Common sense agreement.
Common sense agreement. Yeah, you know what? I was actually writing our scores in. You had a 1-inch putt that you just missed or whatever. I was actually good. Let's just go to the next hole. We all knew that was good. I mean, how many times has that happened too where you're especially with us and when we're playing with strokes and stuff, where we get up to the next tee and we're like, oh fuck, you had a stroke there, and you like run back to the green and like re-putt it, like, oh, where was it? Like, that's just a common sense agreement. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, we did that out of like Spyglass, where like there was a intense putt and someone didn't tell us that we had a stroke, and I'm like, I'm going fucking back there and putting. Everyone like came running back, like, let's do it. But if there was a rules official being like, no, that's actually incorrect, you're disqualified, and now I take your money, it's just like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, let's just be common sense, real people, and let's have some fun.
Yes, That's what golf needs more of. I think that's like those types of incidents just make this sport look so dumb, especially in match play. I get stroke play, you got to protect the field, and it can get a little stupid and annoying, but it's probably necessary. In match play, it's like, no, you're literally just playing the other person. That's it. That's all that matters. So it makes zero sense for a rules official to jump in and try to make any ruling when everyone just agrees it was a 6-inch putt. Now I was like, yeah, he wasn't going to miss it. That was good. You're all good, and everybody just moves on.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Love that.
I'm always waiting. I'm always waiting for these moments in golf to, like, when I saw the Kevin Na Dustin Johnson thing happening, I was like watching Twitter, being like, "Oh, when this is going to transcend and everybody's going to pick it up, people will be talking about this." And then you realize match play, and it's kind of what you guys are talking about, where the rules are so like a little confusing and they're a little abstract that like people will take one look at it who aren't golf fans and they're like, "I'm not wasting my time trying to figure out what's going on there," and it just never happens. It's happened a couple of times. I can't remember all the instances, but there'll be moments during a tournament where I'm like, oh, this is going to pick up steam. It's going to start trending on Twitter, and then it just doesn't. And that's golf. Riggs is going to take a piss right now.
That actually is not confirmed. He could be doing anything in there.
That seems like Riggsy runs. I think he has a little bit of like the IBS stuff, right? I think he's talked about that, where he's just like he's got to just run to the bathroom.
I know early on, and I don't want to be talking out of school, but I think he's talking about it. Oh, true.
What we do here,
but I think he's talking about it. Where like when we, I think he's gone. Unless he took his headphones, and I bet he can hear us. Maybe he can hear us.
Well, I mean, the infamous story. He didn't he have to go poo poo at Pebble Beach and like ruined his whole, or was it Spyglass or something? One of those, was it like the Dabog Classic last year or one of those trips out there? He really had to go to the bathroom and it like ruined his whole day.
All I know is.
Yes.
When there was a big recall going on cross country about Caesar salad. All I know is that early on in the podcast, when all of our interviews, everything was in the old office in New York, that right before the interview or right before a big podcast, my man Riggs would disappear and he'd be gone until I would go in the studio and then he would show up again. And I think it was bathroom related. And I think he's talked about that. Maybe he hasn't, but I know that would happen early on and he just has to go right now.
And would you know it? Dude Wipes is a massive sponsor of the Barstool Classic, so thank you to Dude Wipes. I don't know if they're on the ad read sheet today, but it takes one to know one with Riggsy, and he's a Dude Wipes user.
That would have been an all-time segue if you knew what was on the ad sheet.
Oh, I wish I did.
Yeah, it would have been good.
Well, we got the Classic coming up. They're a big part of the Classic, so we're going to be using a lot of Dude Wipes coming up. I do want to talk about Sergio Garcia.
Okay.
I know Riggs will want to have to talk about it a little bit, but gets that ace, and it's a walk-off ace. One of the most incredible walk-offs I think you can possibly have in sports. I've talked about this at length over the weekend with my buddies. Like, that has to be the best, most impressive walk-off you can possibly have, right? I don't care what it's for. I don't care, like, Patty Kane scoring the game-winning goal in the Stanley Cup. I understand. Like, that is a bigger moment. But when we're talking straight, like, something that can never be replicated, it's that.
Bro, if we're
guys can score goals to win Stanley Cups. No one can get a hole-in-one after like a playoff match play event and just shake hands on the tee box and be like, ho hum, see you later, pal. Like, thanks for coming.
Yeah, if we're talking odds, it's astronomical, the difference between scoring a last-second goal or making a buzzer beater and then making a hole-in-one as a walk-off. Those numbers, they got to be pretty different.
Like, Wes would stand up there like, what just happened to me?
Is there anything that's final? Like, like when we talk like baseball or hockey or anything like that, like, Richter making that penalty shot save against Pavel Bure, like, that's sweet, but it's like one little spot. Like, there's nothing else that's just a kill shot. Like, that's the most
walk-off home run.
Yeah, I guess that's a good one, actually. Yeah, if you walk off home run to win the World Series, that would be it.
Or like the Pats interception like against the
Malcolm,
Falcons,
yeah.
or I mean the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's
Right,
yeah,
that's
'cause
just like a
there's-
walk-off interception, like one play one way, one play
right.
the other
Yeah,
way. You win,
yeah,
you
those
lose.
those are up there. But to be that guy on that team certainly is up there.
Walk-off home run for sure is up there, but guys can hit home runs. I mean, they hit a lot of them. You got guys in 700 clubs and the whole
Right.
thing. I don't know how many people hit home-in-ones like
No, I know, but you'd
to
have to be
win
in the
matches.
spot that it would be like you're in the bottom of the ninth, your team's
Right.
tied, like Game 7 of the World Series, and you rip one. Like that just is better than hitting a hole in one at the Dell match play in the round of 16 or whatever.
Right, that is the thing. It was the
don't
round
want
of
them- I don't
32
want
or the
them-
round of 16. Like if that
Yeah.
if that had happened today, Sunday on 18 or like on 17, like now we're really talking about a spectacular
Right.
moment. Sergio's moment was spectacular, but
So
if there
sick.
were more stakes, then it would have been
Yeah.
even better.
I don't want what I said to get wrapped up in. I don't want it to get like skewed there. I'm not talking moments. Like there's better moments in Islander games. Game 50, like if you want to talk excitement, like things that matter to most people in sports, like you're saying, round of 32, Sergio Garcia hitting like making a hole in one and beating Lee Westwood, just advancing to then go on and lose, doesn't make any difference in the world of sports. I'm talking the art and the act of hitting a hole-in-one to win a match, taking the hat off, shaking the hands in between the fucking tee box markers is so astronomically impossible that I don't know that anything comes close to it when it comes to difficulty and odds. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
because
anything comes-
all right. So if you were to compare them, like if you were saying a guy is standing at the plate, Game 7 of the World Series, bottom of the ninth, tie game, what are the odds that he hits a walk-off home run? We could have those numbers, and then you go to the Sergio
Yes.
Garcia one where it's we are now in a match. He can win it here if he makes a hole in one. The odds of that are just extremely.
I think
low.
I think it's conservatively a billion times more odds, worse odds to make a hole in one than hit a walk-off home run. A billion. I think whatever it is, you times it by a billion, and that's what Sergio did.
Yeah, I think so because especially you're almost never gonna have a chance. Like
Right.
if a playoff
Match
hole,
play
it's
never
like why
happens.
would you? Right, why would you ever have that chance? Like you'd have to be in a playoff or you'd have to be in a match play stretch. So it almost just like can't even have the opportunity to happen.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I mean, there's 162 games per team a year, like whatever that equates to. Like, there's just
Yeah,
so many
it's-
more options. If there
That was
match
almost-
play, here's a question though.
Like that will never happen again.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna say never because, I mean,
Well, yeah.
if it happened once, then the statistic it'll just happen again.
Take a stand, Frankie. Put your fucking feet on the
That will
ground.
never happen. You know what? That's it's a decent side to be on. Like,
Yeah.
the guys next year's match play, there can't be a walk-off hole-in-one on the 4 chances they get. So yeah, you know what? I'm putting my fucking foot down. There will never be another hole-in-one. And imagine there's one at like the Ryder Cup. How fucking electric that would be.
Oh,
Oh my god.
oh God. No, I
Um,
couldn't even imagine that. The
yeah,
17th hole at Whistling Straits is a par 3.
I'll eat that one. You know, I'll be happy to see another one. I'm gonna be on the side and say that we will not see another one. Walk-off hole-in-one to win the match.
I don't think that's a crazy take, Frankie.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you for taking that. Did you guys see that cameraman fall?
Yeah,
Of course. Poor
Yeah.
guy.
that's
That
just
was just good fun right there.
right. Like that's just good old fashioned internet fun. Like
Yeah.
we could
Fucking foot, his leg like kicked up into the air. It's just so good.
we could
He was
talk
moving
about
at a decent clip. I mean, like, he wasn't going slow there either. Like, he was getting the job done and moving, and he bit it. And, that's just good old-fashioned fun. If you can't laugh at that, you're a lunatic. I mean, that's just funny.
I like when they don't even they don't address it on the broadcast.
Right.
They addressed it a few minutes later, but they weren't like, "Holy shit, that guy just fell." They were just like, "And we're now here at the 8th hole with Sergio Garcia." Like, but then a couple minutes later they said something. But I like that they just ignore that. Everyone just watched this man's feet fly up into the air, and then they just don't even mention it.
Yeah, I like when they don't mention it either. I think it's hilarious. TaylorMade, you heard us talking about the Dustin Johnson video earlier. Well, the reason that we're doing those videos and the reason that we are able to get into that position is with our friends at TaylorMade. And I got a text this past weekend. Our guy Ian that we work with, who works on our business team, who's a big part of the Barstool Classic. He's at pretty much every stop. He got his SIM 2 for the first time, and he just texted me Saturday morning and just said, "This thing is an absolute weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. I'm seeing people again. They're starting to get out in springtime all over the good weather, as we talked about. Starting to see a lot of tweets about this thing is a cheat code. This thing is a weapon. The Sim 2 truly is. Our very own Jake Bass went out, and I think, Jake, what'd you shoot? 106?
106.
Damn.
Let's go, Jake. That was like
Pretty good
Jake's
golf.
first round of golf
Fucking good.
this year, and probably less than 5 you've played all time. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I've played a couple of random courses at Riggs. I played Liberty National and went to like the local muni. And I played like my buddy's ball if like I went OB or something like that, like off the tee shot. But I mean, it's a joke. I have the high toe 58-degree wedge. That thing's a literal cheat code. Like it would just you'd stick it. I made a birdie on the third hole. Then I told the guys I was playing with, they were like, I was like, yeah, like I'm not a big golfer. And then by the third hole, they were like, all right, go fuck yourself. And I was like, it's a TaylorMade.
That's awesome.
Jake's also getting his heart ripped out as we speak to him. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Alabama's
I'm
getting
following on
absolutely
Twitter
murdered.
at the same time. It's just tough. It's really tough to have gone through this whole thing, Jake. And now I'm trying to get you to plug TaylorMade, but that's just part of the gig. So sorry about that. But I was playing with Haley Ostrom on Friday, and we went to the green. She thought she was on the green, so she didn't bring a wedge. Asked if she could use my high toe, and she literally chipped in. First time she ever used my TaylorMade high toe 60-degree wedge, she just chipped in. Was like, okay, this thing's pretty sick. So go TaylorMade.com. Go check out their stuff. Go explore. Go get fit. That's a huge one that we didn't really realize. But once you go get fitted and your clubs are actually like tailored to your game, no pun intended there, tailored to your swing and your misses and your ball flight, it makes a massive difference. So go to TaylorMadeGolf.com, check them out, get involved in the TaylorMade stuff because it's the best in pretty much in the entire world. Brian Harmon, I noticed. I got a text from Kiz who said like, yo, you should start placing some wagers on Brian Harmon because he's just so dialed in right now. He's a Georgia guy as well, so Kiz knows him really well. And then right as Kiz sent me that text, Harmon birdied I think 8 in a row to come back against Bubba Watson, and he's coming off a tie for third at the Players Championship. I think he was tied for third. So just a name out there as we pen Barstool Sportsbook. People love to get into sports betting. Brian Harmon's a name that's popping up a lot, and he's playing fucking really good golf.
And people can make fun of his outfits all they want. They're a little loose fitting, but I'm in on it. I fucking love it. I like that there's somebody still out there rocking the loose fitting pants. When the wind blows, Brian Harmon's pants go like a sail. And I respect the hell out of it. He looks comfy out there. He looks comfy. And I know people shit on him for that. At least I feel like people do. I'm on the other side of that one. He looks comfortable out there. And if he's playing great golf, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
He looks like, what's his name, Murr from Impractical Jokers?
Nothing. I mean, he looks like just an average human being, and I think that's
You know what?
I think that gives everybody hope because he looks so average, and he just pours the rock in. He's also got the biggest putter on tour. That thing, It looks like it goes a foot behind the putter face. It's incredible how big that thing is.
And he's a little guy.
He looks like the guy from Impractical Jokers. I tweeted it out during the Players Championship. It's identical, and he's a lefty, which I love.
Yeah, he is. He's one of those guys that seems his game seems a little bit obtainable. Like he's a little guy. He's not like he bombs the ball. And yeah, he's just like, I could kind of do something similar to what that guy does. And his putter really stands out because he's such a little guy that with this giant putter, it's like this. It's like holy shit when you're looking down. And then his pants, he looks a little bit ridiculous in the way that he doesn't look like a professional. He looks
he's like 5'6".
Like
I mean, he's legitimately like short, right?
Yeah, he's
now we're throwing a lot of shade.
Yeah. No, what? I mean, I think that
he is
people
5'7".
need to.
He's 5'7".
Okay, so like that needs to be said. Like we're saying, he's like a little guy. He's got big pants. Like it's like he's a short fella.
He's 5'7", 155. God, that's incredible.
He's got
professional
like
athlete.
this
That's
isn't not
insane.
calling him short. This could be for anybody, but he's got a low center of gravity.
Okay.
Tell what's the benefit there? What are we doing? What's
Jesus,
the angle?
Trent. I mean,
What?
don't kick a guy while he's down.
No, I'm just saying. I feel like that's.
okay.
I think he's got a good base for a good golf swing. That's honestly what I was saying. I wasn't saying anything else.
Don't be short-sighted.
His whole segment was just supposed to be a positive thing about Brian Harman. Now we're just roasting him, which is very sad.
No,
I like Brian Harman. I do.
So
like
do
Brian
I.
Harman. He's a lefty, dude.
I love Brian Harman.
He's a
great.
fucking lefty. I've been waiting for another lefty on tour to fucking. I need to root for a lefty. Georgia guy. I like him.
How well did that Impractical Jokers tweet do during the Players?
I can't remember, but I think people were like, "Yeah, you're right."
Because I'm thinking about it too now, and now after I was going through the Impractical Joker guys in my head, he does look like that guy.
Thanks, man.
Unreal. Brian Harman rocks a TaylorMade. The Spider oversized. So, it works. TaylorMade clubs work.
Boom. That's pretty much, that's all you needed to know. I had something. Oh, I was going to say, dude, Brian Harman Lurch weighs like 120 pounds less than you do.
I mean, I guess, now we're throwing shit everywhere. Now we're just trying to pick fights. No, I
was thinking about like the difference in size between you two human beings is amazing.
It's not 120 pounds, but it's 100 pounds even. Or maybe like 105 pounds. Because I'm like 260, 255 on better days. So, yeah. I mean, no big deal. So just a couple inches. And
he's a professional athlete getting paid millions of dollars to play golf. That is so impressive. I mean, you talk about what Bryson's out here doing. We can get into him, that fucking weirdo. I don't know if I love him or I hate him. It's really hard, every video that comes out. But, you got a guy who's 5'7", 150, just fucking keeping it right down the middle, putting lights out with that outrageously large putter, and he's just raking in the cash, man. Like, how much did third place of the Players fucking pay that guy? Like, a shit ton of money?
No idea. I'll tell you what, it was never more evident that I was never a professional athlete than today. My brother and I played in this pickleball tournament. It was like 100 degrees outside. My mom had just gotten married, so all these people were in town. We just kind of registered for this fun tournament. So they all came just like because they got nothing to do. And my brother and I got absolutely waxed. The first game was very competitive. But after that, we had nothing going on and people were watching us. I was like dehydrated, so I was like pouring the water down my back and chugging it. We looked like the fattest kids in camp. Everybody had stamina, was totally with it. It was kind of an ugly scene.
Were you and your brother fighting with each other at all?
We were talking about that at dinner. And no, we kept it pretty positive. There was a couple times where it got a little loose between the two of us, and everybody that has brothers knows that you can just say one thing to them and then they snap and they say it back to you and you lose your mind. To the point where it would be like, oh, dude, you got to dink it, and that's like a shot in pickleball. Or you hit it long, and Trent's looking at me like a psychopath, and I say you got to dink it. But that's literally a shot. And then, like, the guy would just wail it or something like that. And so there was moments of frustration out there. We signed up for the pro division to start, which was a total mistake. That was just an error on our part. So we played one level below the pros. And this was my third time ever playing pickleball. And it was we got into some trouble. But so we kept it positive. We had dinner together here to close out the night. So it was better than what we thought. Our goal was, if we are talking in 2 hours into this tournament, it's a success, and we were. So that was a good thing.
Okay, all right, that's good. Yeah, because I mean, brothers, especially in a heated competition when you're getting absolutely steamrolled, I could see things getting pretty vicious.
I feel like you've seen some things too with brothers that don't end so hot, and especially Brian and I. Yeah.
But I've seen like my own brother and I, like, we could fucking, you kidding me? You just get, it's what brothers do. You get into it. So I just figured the heat, a couple big fellas down in Florida, you're getting just waxed by these people. I thought maybe there could be a little animosity. So it's impressive that there wasn't.
It was close. But we held off the bad energy.
We got a little from the gallery. We got a couple here that I want to get to. And this first one's actually pretty disturbing. It's foreplay at barstoolsports.com. And it's disturbing for all golfers out there because if this is true, which I think it might be, it could be bad for all of us. He said, huge fan of the show. I was in Scottsdale for a weekend with my golf buddies. While checking my bags to fly out of Scottsdale, I was asked if I had any clothes in my golf travel bag. I responded with yes. Obviously, everybody packs the full bag with all shoes and clothes and everything in your golf travel bag. Was shocked by the response I received. I was told that if I packed clothes in my golf travel bag, I would owe an extra $200 fee. I was shocked because I've traveled with my golf clubs a lot. As long as it's under 50 pounds, you're good. I was told this is a standard policy for all airlines, not just American Airlines. I don't like American Airlines. Have you ever heard of this? To make it worse, the lady told me that they will make a note on my account, and my golf bag will likely be checked for clothes every time I fly from now on.
No.
What is happening to this guy?
No.
That's what I said.
No
I was
way.
This guy like a terrorist or something? Like he's getting his accounts flagged at the airport? Like he's just going to a golf course. They can't look inside your bag and decipher what goes in it and what doesn't. That's
Hold
insanity.
on. I've had that where somebody like is like, oh no, you can only have golf clubs in your golf bag. And then
Why? Because we're beating the system?
I just literally went to another teller. I just like went down the line and just like met with somebody else, and like that's the whole deal. You just got to meet with the right people.
Let's say that's fair, which it is not, and I will not abide by that in any way, shape, or form. For it to be an extra $250, I'll just go home. I will just go right back home. I won't go where I'm going.
This is something I'm willing to go to like really far for, like court, lawyer fees, because it's really easy to defend yourself when you know you're right, and this is a situation in which we know we're right.
Like, what do they
nothing happening.
What do they deem acceptable in a duffel bag, in like a normal bag? Like if I start putting in toiletries or something, are they like that can't go in there, and that's an extra $250? To like them determining what goes in what type of bag feels like a slippery slope for them.
So the extra price has to come at an extra cost to them, right? They can't just charge you to charge you. They have to deem that you putting in clothes has cost them extra money. Therefore, they are going to charge you an extra fee. What could fucking possibly cost them more money by keeping it under the 50 pounds and just lining that bag with whatever you want? What if, like, whatever you want? What is the difference? What if my golf bag happens to be 49 pounds because my clubs are super heavy? What's the difference between that or having a 20-pound golf bag and filling it up with 30 pounds of clothes?
Right.
What is the difference?
Let's say it like this. What if you have your golf bag and you don't even put your golf clubs in it? You fill it with only clothes. Like, that's just a fucking bag.
Yes.
It's just a bag.
That's a good
Dude, if this happens to me,
as long as it's not like cocaine or something, then I think it should be. It's like it's just a
you
bag.
Just have a bag. You just traveled with a bag.
Cocaine.
It's just a bag. You don't assume that my bag is a golf bag. Don't assume anything. It's just a bag.
I'll go to the nearest store and I'll buy 1,000 golf balls and I'll pack up that fucking bag. So it's 49,99999 pounds.
That'd be the worst bag to carry of all time. If you're telling me it's a golf bag with just under 50 pounds of loose golf balls in there, it's just like water.
A 50-pound bag of just golf stuff, regardless of what it is an outrageous golf bag. I don't even know if you can get there. I don't even know if you can get to 50.
I don't know that you could. Like, your bag would be too full before it would be too heavy.
Yeah, like obviously you could put a couple bricks in there, but if you're using legitimate golf tools, like a bunch of fucking balls, maybe one pair of shoes, an umbrella, like I don't know that golf has enough stuff to fit in that bag to make it 50 pounds. I don't.
I had the experience today where they made me do one of the good life hacks for a golf traveler is like you just lean like the front part of your golf bag onto the scale and it comes in at like fucking 28 pounds. You're like, oh yeah, thanks a lot, see you later.
And then they pick it up and they're like, what the fuck? I do that all the time.
The lady today, she goes, yeah, you have to stand your bag on the scale. And I was like, oh, we're fucked. Like, we're never going to get out of here now. Stand it on the scale, 53 pounds. And I look at her and she looks at me like, I look at the number, it's 53. I look at her, she looks down at the number, looks back at me, and then she just goes, okay, your gate B up that way. And I was like, thank you very much. And I just
that's where they should have a tip
slowly.
jar. They should just have a tip jar right there. Just like in that moment, here's your $20, lady. I love you. You've made my afternoon so much better. Here's money for you. I really think
also makes me think the whole system's fucked because like there's got to be a reason why 50 pounds is 50 pounds.
Dark.
So I'm saying like 53 pounds has to throw it off somewhere. We can't just have this lady willy-nilly just letting 53 pounders in because then where does it end?
Dude,
well,
I
can't make a turn. You're into a.
I put a little bag in the top of my golf bag. So if you do get that like awful person, you can just take the 3 pounds out, put it in that bag, and that's your carry-on.
Dude, I had the opposite experience of Riggs when I was flying out of Monterey after we were at Pebble, where I think I was like 51 It was 51 pounds. And
I'm
she was
sorry,
like,
Trent. I'm sorry, Trent. Lurch just had an unreal idea. That's a really good
I think
idea.
we've talked about that, haven't we?
No, have we?
Here and there, maybe in just like off topics. I don't know if it's been on the podcast before.
Because there was once where I was just carrying clothes in my hand,
Yes.
and I had to like.
I've done the thing where you have to put it all on. I've worn like 4 layers of clothes.
And then you got to get to security, and they're like, "All right, take off your jacket, your other jacket. Yeah, your other pair of pants, please. Your jacket, your 2 belts."
You're telling me all jackets have to come off? I got 6 jackets on. I wear
Walking in like Fat Albert.
No, I had to. It was 51 pounds, and the lady did not tell me what gate I was going to. She was like, "Let's get that thing under 50," and I just took one shoe out, and it was enough. And I just put one shoe in my backpack, and I just had one shoe in my backpack. It was the most preposterous thing I've ever had to do, but it has to have some effect.
Yeah, I mean, it has to. Like Frankie said, there's got to be a legitimate reason for safety that they do that.
Maybe they're thinking like, all right, if you're the first guy that's getting on this flight and your bag's over 50 pounds, I'm going to let you go because you're here and you can go. But then if like 2 or 3 more come, they got to do it because if we start letting all the 53-pounders on, this plane is dropping out of that sky like a stone. So we can't have that happening.
Is there a max poundage? Like if I just filled a suitcase with just bricks and it was like 280 pounds and I just put that thing, would they take that? What happens?
I mean, they charge you $1,000 for it.
Right, but they would take the bag?
I think my bag to Australia was like 110 pounds. I remember that thing being, I think that's what tore my labrum. I don't even know if I could pull that thing.
Let me ask you if this is possible. Is something, when you have your golf bag and you lay it upwards on the scale, is it possible to weigh less than when you lay it all the way down?
I would say it weighs more. Because it's like a less surface area. Like to Riggs' point, like when you do like the lazy drop down, you kind of like change like at least like the touch points of the golf bag, and everybody's like, oh no, I got a shit ton of balls in the bottom, so we're just gonna rest like the top like of my like club heads on top and hope that weight changes. So I would say there would probably be a couple pounds more if you laid it standing up.
I was under the impression it would weigh the same both ways.
I think it
will. It's like if the scale was a full-size scale, but the golf bag is so preposterous that like if you just like graze the first couple feet of it on there, like I've legit had a 50-something pound bag come in at like under 30 pounds.
Right.
And I just look at the person like, are you fucking letting me get away with this right now? This is a joke what we're doing here. And then they go pick it up to fucking wheel it onto the thing, and they're like, Jesus. And I'm gone at that point. I'm fucking through the security. We're out of here.
In general, golf travel bags are absolutely preposterous. The fact that we walk through airports with those things, like all the other bags are pretty normal. It's just like they're the same shape, but they're different sizes. And then we show up with essentially a body bag that we're just carrying around the airport and rolling around on wheels. Like, not every time, but every time I'm in an airport with my golf travel bag, like rolling it through, I'm like, I look ridiculous right now.
Yeah, and we have all these soft like bags, and you ever watch the way these guys handle these things? I've watched them outside the windows of these airports, and when you're sitting on the plane, they toss these things like it's their fucking like they're trying out for the Olympics. I've never seen anything like it. They get air underneath these bags to try and get them on the little.
I actually don't blame them because our bags are the different ones. They're the ones that they're like, we got another one of these fucking golf bags that we got to throw on.
Well, that's why I bought, and no free ads. I don't even know whatever. I think they're called like Easy something, but it's an umbrella basically, a hard case thing that goes inside your bag. I've had it for the last 2 years. You put it on the bottom, like the bottom row of your club, so that if someone does toss your bag, that metal thing, Lurch has it right now. That metal thing hits the ground before your driver head, your irons, and all that. That's the first thing to make impact. So, really good invention.
That's a good idea.
Invention. I think that upside down umbrella though is in most travel bags. I don't think that you can buy it like that. Just comes with your travel bag, right? Like, can you buy one without it? I feel like that's
I don't know that.
Is that one company or is that?
No, I mean, I don't know if they're all companies, but I don't know that the travel bags come with that thing. I think I got sold that separately from a good salesman. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
From a good salesman. Realistic, like when you think about it, golfers, like we're assholes. Like we carry these giant bags through the airport that are unlike anybody else's bags. Our game, right? Like any other game, if you're on like a soccer field or something, it's like an acre or like 100 yards. We're like No, we're gonna have 18 500-yard holes that are just gonna take up this entire county. Basically, it's like we're just golfers are just like we just take up space. That's what we do. We take up as much space as possible.
Yeah, that's what people hate. Like people hate golf, right? Like all the resources, the water, the money, the space. Like, doesn't George Carlin tell a joke about how like it's the dumbest thing in the world, and that we should have all the homeless people live on all the golf courses?
I think that's right. Yeah, that sounds right.
And Robin Williams does a good one too. It's just like the dumbest game in the world. Like you're gonna start 400 yards away from the smallest hole you've ever seen and hit this stupid little white ball into that hole from here. It's just it's good.
Hit it, and you're gonna go find it, and then hit it again. Yeah. It's like when you find it, just put it in your pocket, and you won. You won the damn thing. You found the ball. It is amazing.
So good.
Every season, Peter Millar works to push their designs and their product to the next level. We are obsessed with all of Peter Millar's new Spring 21 Crown Sport gear that comes in a very classic fit. Peter Millar Crown Sport apparel is trusted on tour by pros like Kevin Kisner, Lee Westwood, Harris English, and more. I've been on the Megan and Harry thing, and I've been all over that lately. Like we talked about, we got on the Crown, so it's kind of on the top of my brain, especially when I travel. I start digging. It's good enough for the tour, then you know you'll be wearing it in the prestigious Barstool Classic this summer, which kicks off this week. Peter Millar is launching new styles this season like the Solar Cool Quarter Zip, a lightweight mid-layer built with a revolutionary fabric that reflects the infrared rays of the sun. You hear that, folks?
What?
You hear that, Frankie?
What are they doing?
They have a Solar Cool Quarter Zip. It is a lightweight mid-layer built with a revolutionary fabric that reflects the infrared rays of the sun.
Wow.
Man, I could have used that today because my skin is leathery.
Or can you reflect it onto your opponent and like blind him as they
zap
swing?
him a little
Where
bit?
are those
I think
rays
that's
going?
part of it. Yeah, for sure. The Hyperlight Apollo, which brings fresh style to the Peter Millar sneaker lineup, delivering incredible comfort and dynamic design for off-course wear. Browse the entire new spring Peter Millar Crown Sport collection today at petermillar.com/Fore and receive free shipping and a complimentary gift with purchase. That's petermillar.com/Fore. Receive free shipping and a complimentary gift with purchase. I think I have a pair of those shoes. I think I just got a pair of those shoes. Let me go grab these things real quick, Phil.
The Crown Sport pants are unbelievable. I don't want to talk too much about them because I think we may be selling them on our site soon. But I got these pants. I don't even know if we've talked about them on the show. But someone in Vegas, this like 50-year-old woman, stopped her husband and they looked at my ass and my pants and they're like, look at these pants on this man.
Those are some nice shoes.
Look at these.
Those are awesome.
Shoes I got.
And those are Peter Millar. Those G4. Those are Peter Millar
these
shoes.
Are Peter Millar shoes.
Wow.
They say right there. It actually says
wow.
Peter Millar on them.
That's pretty fucking cool. Those are good.
I like those.
Yeah, these are just like hanging shoes. These things are amazing. So go to petermillar.com/Fore. You get yourself a nice free shipping and a complimentary gift with purchase. Phil Mickelson was really getting into it on Twitter, especially with our Frankie Borelli over the last several days since the last time that we did a show. How are you feeling about that, Frank?
You know, I was just scrolling through Twitter like I usually do late at night, and I saw Phil was tweeting like some stuff, like, you know, he was just being weird, like zany Phil or whatever. What are you about to say?
That tweet of his was weird.
Yeah,
so
super
bizarre.
Weird. Real weird. It came out of nowhere. So Phil Mickelson, to start this thing off, said, "Here's a random thought. After turning 18 and becoming a legal adult, you can adopt a child, but are still 3 years away from legally drinking a beer." And he does the emoji. And that coming out like 10:49 on a Friday or whatever that was bizarre.
What's he doing? What's his state of mind at that point? Like, what the hell is going on?
Let's say if you show that tweet to 100 people and you cut it out where you don't say that it's Phil Mickelson who tweeted it, I think 99% of people would say that's a weird tweet. That's an objectively a strange tweet. Just a weird couple of thoughts to put together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was he having a conversation about that? He had
right.
to.
That's what I want to know. Like, who is he talking to? Was he just wake up from a dream and now he's got a nightmare? What is he doing?
someone he knows has someone that adopted a kid at 18. And he got into an argument or a debate, being like, "How is that possible? He can't even have a beer yet." And then that tweet fired off. That has to happen. That doesn't just pop into your head.
No.
So I quote tweeted that because he's deep in some shit that night. So I thought maybe I'd just sprinkle a little bit of my brain on top. I said, "Hey Phil, you ever think about the ever-expanding infinite universe? What's it expanding into?" And I'm gonna be honest, like I sent that tweet out and I closed my eyes and I put my phone down and I got like some nice sleep. That was the next day. I woke up with like a 97% recovery. I think I tweeted out on Whoop. I was just feeling pure. I was feeling good, but for some reason Phil like responded to me and I missed that until the next morning, which was kind of a crazy thing to wake up to. But he says he responded to my tweet asking about the infinite universe, and he says, "I think about Earth becoming extinct every 30 million years from the Oort cloud." Am I pronouncing that correctly? The Oort cloud? O-O-R-T. The Oort cloud. As we travel around the galaxy every 250,000 years, we go up and down. The gravity of our galaxy pulls on the Oort cloud and slingshots comets at us every 30 million years. And by the way, it's been 30 million years with like a oh shit face emoji. So Phil's just laying down the fucking truth about just how scary the goddamn galaxy is, the universe. He was getting in on the joke. It was pretty cool. I know Riggs responded too, like, how about the gravity behind Frankie blading chips into another universe? How do we feel about that? Objectively a funny tweet. And then Phil, with the funniest tweet of the night, says, "You want to talk string theory now?" Like him saying that. As if that was more complex than the Oort cloud slingshotting comets into our orbit and destroying our universe. The fact that string theory and my wedges is even more like we can't even start to talk about that because that's just too much. Made me laugh. So that was a good chuckle.
Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff. Bill was one of the weirder, just no context tweets that I've ever seen. And luckily, we were able to spin into some pretty good stuff. But yeah, that guy, whatever's going on in that brain that day, that conversation, that debate, whatever he was having with some people, to put that out on Twitter was I like it because it's bold, but it was a weird fucking tweet. I read it like 5 times. Like, what is he talking about? Like, what could be happening right now?
Come on the show, Phil, and we'll talk about the universe.
Right. It's crazy with all the interactions we've had. It's like,
feel like we talk a lot on Twitter, my friend. Feel like we talk a lot on Twitter.
Yeah.
We do. It's a fact. Okay. YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tonight, Dustin Johnson playing with the Foreplay crew, one of the biggest videos we've ever done. It's awesome. You need to make sure that you subscribe. Now, I'm trying to think out loud of a name that I would like to subscribe. I'm gonna say, Kyle. All Kyles out there. My brother's name is Kyle, and you've hey Kyle. You've probably been doing hey Kyle your whole fucking life, which is a great fucking show that I haven't watched in a long time. Maybe I should, but you've been dealing with that bullshit your whole life. It's infuriating. Probably rattles you. Probably got you in a lot of fights. Probably got you feeling shitty about yourself because your name's hey Kyle. And instead, you can be filled with happiness and entertainment. And Dustin Johnson, the greatest golfer on planet Earth, playing left-handed, and an incredible show of physical ability and athletic ability against the Foreplay crew on YouTube's Foreplay tonight. So go subscribe, Kyle. Thank you very much.
I'm going to make this real easy for the people out there, for the people who are named Dustin. If your name is Dustin,
gonna do that.
Yeah, and you want to watch the Dustin Johnson video, you're probably not as accomplished as Dustin Johnson. Few people are, whether or not your name's Dustin or not. But if your name is Dustin, you need to subscribe to the Foreplay YouTube channel because we got a Dustin Johnson video this week, then we got another Dustin Johnson video next week. The videos are just going to keep coming. They're awesome. They keep getting better. So if your name is Dustin, subscribe to the Foreplay YouTube channel. Frankie?
Yeah, there's a name. So I usually get some dark in this segment, and I like to talk people about how bad they are doing, how badly they're doing, how down in the dumps they may be, and how something like as simple as subscribing to the Foreplay YouTube page could really turn your day and your life around, really. I think we've said this name. We had to have because it's biblical. It's maybe the first name ever if you want to read the Bible, but the name's Adam. I'm 99% sure we have said this, and I don't even know we have. I'm getting shakes no. Adam.
I don't know we have.
The reason I'm going to say Adam is because this. I'm going to tie this all together with some golf talk here, guys. Adam Svensson just won on the Korn Ferry Tour today. For some reason, this little back and forth between him and Max McGreevy caught my eye. on Twitter. They were in a playoff back and forth. This guy Max McGreevy at the Korn Ferry Tour was hitting like 17-foot bomb putts to like extend the match. He hit one on 14, hit one on 18. There was a ton of people there going crazy when he hit the putt. And then Adam Svensson wins. I mean, the guy's got like 1,000 followers on Twitter. He's going to be a pro golfer one day. He's a Canadian. I'm going to leave this one, a little more cheery today. Like, let's all just congratulate Adam. He's a Korn Ferry Tour winner. He won at the Club Car Championship at Landings Club in Georgia. He won a fucking golf tournament today. This guy's on his way to be doing good things. Max McGreevy, you did a great job today. But Adam, all those Adams out there, let's all wish him well. Let's all congratulate him by subscribing to the Foreplay YouTube page. So this is something that will really shake up his day. If you guys start tweeting at, like, Adam Svensson, a bunch of just Foreplay subscription tweets, be like, congrats, Adam. That's a very funny thing for someone to just have no idea what's happening. So congratulate him on his victory, and also congratulate us on getting Dustin Johnson, playing us lefty. Thank you very much. I feel good today. It's a Sunday night. We're getting into a big week, huge week. I got Behind the Greens coming out too. Me and Brendan are going to be sitting in the office until maybe 7 in the morning when that, like, Thursday, Wednesday, whenever we're going to be releasing this thing. So please subscribe. We got a lot of content coming out, and we love you. We love you, and we adore you. All the listeners, all the readers, all the viewers.
How bad?
Love you.
So
How bad did
the
you?
last is what? No, T Daddy, what do you got?
I got to end with this guy's voice.
I was
going to
say, how bad did Frankie want to say Maverick McNeely when he was talking about that Korn Ferry Tour event?
Oh,
the whole
God,
time.
Max McGreevy, Maverick McNeely. Jeez.
You were all over it. You were all around it.
Gonna need them to have a matchup soon.
All right, Lurch, what do you got?
We've talked about brothers. We're playing Dustin, Austin. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. So if your name's Austin out there, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I actually can't wait to see DJ call Trent a pigeon. I think that's just going to be gold. So, yeah, everybody tune in. Let's have a fun night and watch.
So we've got Kyle, Austin, Dustin, and Adam. All of you out there with those names, go subscribe to Foreplay Golf on YouTube tonight. Dustin Johnson. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Brendan. Jake. Sorry about
Hey,
your
real
loss,
quick. What's today?
Did Bama pull it out?
Pretty sure. So tomorrow's the 29th. This comes out on the 30th. I'm pretty sure you have one more day, Trent, to watch Molly's game. I think it goes off Netflix on March 31st. I'm pretty sure. I think it's just gone off Netflix. You're gonna have to end up renting it and spending money. Like, you better watch that motherfucking movie, or else I'm gonna come there. I'm gonna rip your fucking throat out.
I haven't seen it either.
So Monday is the last day that I can watch it?
I think so. I got tweets about that. And I don't want to get, I mean, it's at the end of the show, so we can go a little off topic. I know we're about to end, but I just watched a movie, and it may shock you that I've never seen this movie. I watched it because my buddies were all telling me about it yesterday. They thought I'd love it. They thought it'd bend my mind.
Scent of Woman?
It's called The Prestige.
Ooh, it's a good one.
I've never seen it before.
Really good one.
It was like maybe 10 o'clock in the morning this morning. I woke up, rainy Sunday, a little hungover, and I fucking perched myself up. I got my little tits all in order in my bed, and I just hit play on this fucking movie. And what an experience that was. Shout out Christopher Nolan. Shout out Hugh Jackman. Fucking Christian Bale.
Yep.
I mean, the cast is incredible. Scarlett Johansson. I am blown away by that movie.
Yeah.
The way that you can write that, and I don't want to give it away because I know it's a 2008 movie or whatever. The fucking ending's out there. You should have seen it already. It's like when people are like, "Oh, you tell us Dumbledore died." Yeah, he died like 25 years ago. Fucking.
We do a lot of Harry Potter references on the show.
Yeah, I love Harry Potter, but
Me too.
man, the fact to be able to write something like that, where in the very last scene it all comes together, that's something that I can't comprehend.
Dude,
You know?
yeah. And Christopher Nolan's written like 7 of those movies.
The other ones, this one really I enjoyed. Sometimes the other ones are like, fuck you, Christopher Nolan. Like Tenet sucked.
Tenet sucked.
Like, come on, dude. Like, oh, we don't get it? Yeah, because the movie doesn't make sense, dude. If I have to start thinking out of my brain because, like, I gotta start... If I have to search Reddit to see what that movie meant, it's not that good of a movie. Like, let me just know what's happening, right? It's a fucking 3-hour movie. I should know what's happening. This movie, you could get it. You know the twist. You know the turn. You know... even like Inception sometimes is too much. It's a great movie, but it's like, okay, let's get back to life here.
I watched, if we're doing recommendations, I watched Ted Lasso this weekend.
Yeah, you did.
Hold on.
Dude, such a good show. People have been telling me about it. What?
Is it too corny? Is it
Not
corny?
at all. It's the right
yeah.
blend of everything, I think.
Well, Lurch, we're asking you if something's corny. It's like asking someone if the sky is blue.
Why, you think I'm corny?
No, but like that's your sense of humor. Like you're like, let's have a laugh. Let's enjoy family and fun, and like you're like a nicer, lighthearted person.
So I think Ted Lasso is a blend of everything. I actually think it's like, is he a good coach? Is he just a funny coach? I think it makes your mind go into different places.
There is a blend.
That was sort of a compliment, by the way, Lurch.
It is corny, but it is a blend where there is serious shit that happens. There's like real life things they talk about. But there was early on, like the first episode or two, I was like, this is not like, this doesn't even represent a real person that exists. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a person like this doesn't exist. And I'm sure that actually still might be the case, but it's like, it's a feel good comedy show. Like it's a good fun watch.
He won all those Golden Globes. There's got to be a reason. Like shows like that usually don't take over that much. And he took over the awards like week.
Yeah.
For being like a comedic, he's a soccer coach, so like that's I gotta watch it. It's on Apple TV though. It's another one of those streaming services.
Yeah, you gotta get another one. Yeah.
So you can do like a week for free though, and just rip it.
Oh,
true.
How many? One season?
Yeah,
10 eps.
All right. I may crush that like this weekend.
All right,
one day.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
All right, guys.
All right, folks, that was fun. That was a great time. Tonight, Dustin Johnson, get excited. We'll be back on Thursday as always. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hard.